Hey everyone, welcome to this conversation with Padmasri P.R. Kumar. He is the managing director of Ayurveda Pharmacy Limited, Coimbatore, one of the pioneer institutions in India in the field of Ayurveda. He was instrumental in bringing Ayurveda to the attention of World Health Organization for research in the efficacy of Ayurveda in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, thereby creating a great breakthrough for the science, not just to be known, but to gain acceptance worldwide. He's also the founder of the APP Research Foundation, a non-profit research organization promoting research in Ayurveda. For his tireless efforts towards promotion of Ayurveda and his service to society, Sri Krishnaji was conferred the prestigious Padmasri Award in 2009 by the Government of India, and more recently with the National Padmasri Award in 2016 by the Ayush Ministry, Government of India, among several other awards. He is also on the advisory board of several government and non-government organizations involved in the propagation of Ayurveda. In 2015, he was also appointed as Chancellor of the National Institute for Home Sciences and Higher Education for Women. His daily life thus adorns the roles of an Ayurvedic physician, teacher, visionary, philosopher, counselor, administrator, and entrepreneur. On a more personal note, having grown up in Coimbatore too, I have known of him much of my growing years as our family knew each other. So when I wanted to release my book Yoga Shakti in Coimbatore, his name was the first name that came to my mind. And he not just released the book so graciously, but believed in it strongly and continues to support it, as well as my efforts in the field of yoga. And for that, I am deeply indebted to him. His life is also a great inspiration to many on the path, as he keeps a demanding schedule of working 80 to 20 hours a day, working close to 4 hours a day on most nights, which according to him is more than enough. So it is indeed a great honor to welcome Krishna, as he is popularly known, to this conversation. Namaste and welcome.
Namaste, Shailaja Menon.
So I'm going to get started with the questions here. Before that, just looking at the comment section, my sound is breaking. I'm not quite sure what to go
Lack of
on.
clarity. When you keep moving, there's lack of clarity. Yeah,
Okay.
the mic, I think you need to. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me just see how this goes. All of you, those of you online, please comment, say hi so that I know you're there, right? So the first question is, can you share a little bit about your journey in Ayurveda and your father's influence?
Well, Namaste, viewers. I studied in a European school, and on completion of the school, when everybody was looking into engineering and medicine, I always wanted to be something different. And so I thought the best thing is to opt for taking up my father's footsteps as an eminent Ayurvedic physician whose life mission was reviving and bringing Ayurveda at a global platform. But unfortunately, the science itself wasn't the intensive care unit. So I said, let me try to study and get into the college for Ayurvedic medicine. He was very clear that if you want to learn Ayurveda, better study under me, like the old Gurukula system, but the fascination for going to college took me there. And from there, the first thing was to enter into politics at the college level. That made me a great realization that it's not worth wasting time on public causes, and therefore felt my life mission should be revival by marketing this great science and make it known to the younger world Those days, students who did not get seat in any other college came and joined Ayurvedic colleges. And I always keep saying, to study Ayurveda, you need extraordinary brain. To study Western medicine, with due respect to Western medicine, you need to only master a 6 feet by 3 feet human being. But to become an Ayurvedic physician, one has to know every planet, every plant, every animal, every metal, every mineral. So, could you imagine what should be the level of the brilliance of an Ayurvedic physician? So, to attract the best of children from colleges who normally go to Western medicine, engineering, law, etc., I entered into the World Health Organization collaboration with a lot of difficulties, as you rightly introduced, and that was a great hit. And after 33 years of research, an American professor from UCLA had to come and say, Ayurveda is as efficient as Western medicine without the side effect of methotrexate. And that opened up the doors for the whole world to start to come to India in search of Ayurvedic medicine. So this is how the journey started, and this is where it stands today. And now, thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister, who has taken it up as a mission to speak about Ayurveda wherever possible, tweeting more than 200 countries in 200 languages about the greatness of Ayurveda. So today, there is a tremendous response from not only the patients, but people who would like to know more about it. So this is where I stand.
So, in your talks, you always inspire your students to live with purpose. I have to say this to the point where you even encourage them actively, like not to focus on getting married and having a family, etc., and to really focus on themselves and transforming themselves. So, why is purpose such an important aspect?
Well, I always keep saying the greatest creation by the Lord is a human being. And it is not an accident that we are taking birth on this earth. Every one of us been sent onto the earth for a purpose. And this is what I keep saying when you buy a new cell phone or a laptop, you have a workbook saying these are all the utilities of it. And the human being alone is the one who does not know how to look into the workbook. What is the type of life we should live? And so we are all born here for a purpose. And for that purpose to be achieved, you need to have a body. And that body to be kept intact, you need to have a little earning so that you can feed the body, you can house the body, you can clothe the body. But unfortunately, sadly today, man's full-time job has become money making, far above what your needs are. And therefore today, why has such a COVID come today? Man has been raping nature when the nature couldn't stand it anymore. So I keep saying Karuna is Karunya, God's compassion for man, that He now has taught you how to live. The saying Namaste started not now, years ago. Keeping aside far away from people, washing your hands, washing your body. So the Lord says, also learn the art of washing your soul and try to know me. But man, through his five senses, gets tempted for all the wrong things on earth. And all those who made money, almost many of them are in the jail today. Many of them are lost and sad people. When I go to US, there are billionaires. Somebody who's one of the top investors in Microsoft comes and tells me, my problem is I have no problem, so I'm worried. So these are the type of man is full of worries, stress, tension. And instead of your birthright is to live happily, ask any number of people or even a single friend of yours, are you happy? The natural tendency is to say, of course, really? And you can see tears in their eyes. They are not happy, they are sad. So you've got to have a mission in life. And to achieve a mission, I am only promoting among the children not to get married and get into life because Kerala is supposed to be the most qualified state in the country where we are 100%. The word used in Malayalam is Saksharata. And when you reverse it, it becomes Rakshasa. And that is what majority of the people are living a life there. And Kerala's got the record for maximum number of suicides, maximum number of divorce, and maximum number of psychiatric patients. So one has to have a purpose. And I am talking about my journey in life. When I felt I have a great mission to achieve Ayurveda to be taken to global level, you cannot look after two wives. So I said best is to sacrifice the real wife and to take up this as a mission, and I don't regret it. So people otherwise get into full-time family management. And of course, a poor girl comes into your life for little gold and little clothes and little vegetables. And to go and talk to them about high goals and big philosophy is also unkind to them. So the best thing is let them have their way. You have your way. I had my way. And today, thanks to the Lord, I've been able to achieve great things only because of this journey all alone.
So recently you spoke to Prime Minister Modi as well as the Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, about incorporating Ayurveda in the prevention management of COVID-19. So do you believe that Ayurveda is experiencing a resurgence both in India and abroad?
Well, thanks to our Prime Minister who one day called up and wanted a few physicians to discuss with them and ask us what is it that Ayurveda can do. Western medicine has been alive only for the last 400, 500 years. Whereas this country, ever since man's inception, it has been Ayurveda which has been looking after you. And it has got Ayurveda basically not just a therapeutic cure, but a system which tells you how to live and more importantly, how not to live. It is so individualistic and it is not regionalized saying it is only for the Indians. It is giving differentiation of if you're living in a desert, we're living in a tropical country. So everybody is included and it says how should you live. And it are so specific that if you're short, then what is the ways you should live? If you're tall and heavy, what is the type? So your swabhava, your dharma, your qualities, whether you should be sattvic, you need to be rajasic. And this is where the right topic you gave me of saying Ayurveda and spirituality. It's two sides of the coin. So one has to have some amount of spiritual inward looking if they are got to have peace and happiness. And if one can really become spiritual, I always say you are putting yourself on auto drive. The Lord drives you on the right path. But because of your arrogance, because of your so-called education of today, and because of your ego, you think you know everything. Frankly speaking, you know nothing. And that's why we say you manage, mismanage. And when anything goes wrong in life, what is the first call? Oh my God, I don't know why this happened. But when something good happens, have you ever said, oh my God, why does this happen to me? You never said that. So this has to be reminded on a daily basis, and that helps you to live a beautiful life. Live happily, live beautifully. Without that, today you can find how many suicides, what all is happening in society. You cannot look into the television, you cannot look into the newspaper, because that only talks of murder, killing, suicide, rape, etc. This is how we should live. Animals are living much better manner. They don't overeat. And today man's almost full-time hobby is either sleep as much as possible or eat as much as possible. And today all the diseases, all the great doctors say overeating has created all these problems in your body. So how much you should eat, you should have self-control. And self-control cannot happen unless you are a meditator. And once you start meditating, you get the prompting from the Lord as to what are the do's and don'ts. Follow that path and make your life better.
So Ayurveda focuses on prevention through lifestyle. What seems to be the problem today? And what are the different lifestyle factors that we must focus on for good health?
Well, I always keep insisting Ayurveda very clearly specifies everyone has to wake up 1.5 hours before sunrise. It does not say 4 a.m. In some countries, at some times the sunrise is late, but 1.5 hours before that. And the first thing is to try and see or remember and be happy. Many people say, how can I be happy for no reason? Can't you be happy that you woke up? You could have died last night. And you call out the name of your child or a wife or husband. Oh my God, my speech is still there. We don't thank for all this. We thank everybody for all the wrong things. But if you can start doing that and then have a dialogue with your maker, and that is what is called meditation, going to your center of your own body where you get peace, withdraw from all your senses. In Hinduism, in the spiritual life, we say, give up desire, which is the most difficult thing people say. You cannot, how can you give up desire? But once you take into all this, we say a word which is very commonly used, saying Vairagya. In India, in every language, the same. Vairagya is not frustration or being disgusted, but Visheshana Raga. Your special love for your maker. And when you can become that one, you find your life becomes beautiful. After that, limited food. You should be able to assess yourself. They say you live to eat up to 40, and after 40, eat only just to live. But today, you can find an 80-year-old man sitting with plate. Recently, very often I go for parties, and you find 80-year-old uncles coming with such a huge plate. I hope and pray that, and when you ask them casually, they have almost all the illnesses on earth. And the family cries for the death of a man. I only wish such people don't live longer to create problem for them. And today, which is the best industry? Hospitals. Everybody's in the hospital. You have been sent here for a purpose in life. Instead of working for it and achieving it, your full-time job has become health management, self-management. You become so selfish. You have blood pressure, you have diabetes, you have everything. Am I audible, Shailaja?
Sorry,
Yes.
I think we just went off for a second. So I just wanted to say hello to so many of the viewers who had come. Just saying, I think you know Anamika from Coimbatore, and I see lots of people there, Chandran, Mini, Shalini, yeah, Tilaga. So just saying hi to all of you. There's Uncle Rajnikant Karya is also from Coimbatore. Not sure if you know. So really nice to see all of you here, and I hope you're following the conversation. So we're just going into the main difference between Ayurveda and Western medicine.
Well, Western medicine treats the disease, whereas Ayurveda goes into the basic foundation of why are you sick. And it starts from somewhere. For example, for a knee pain, we don't treat the knee, we treat the stomach. For many types of other diseases, 50% of your disease starts with your stomach. And that's why I said overeating, wrong eating, not eating on time. You can see many people having dinner at 2 a.m., which is the time when there is a biological clock within your body. So this is how Ayurveda assesses. And almost everybody today has a migraine. And for migraine, you don't treat the head in Ayurveda, we treat the stomach. And once you set your stomach in proper condition, you find your migraine disappears. Whereas in Western medicine, I treat the symptoms. Whereas in Ayurveda, we don't look into the symptom. Symptoms are only something which can help us to go into the main cause of a disease. So that is the major difference we do it. And in Ayurveda, if a good physician can be somebody who's elevated his level of consciousness to higher levels, comes out with unique medicines, treatment courses. Whereas in Western medicine, however senior, your father was one of the most eminent physicians of Coimbatore. Whether he or his own student or grandson of a student, all have classical textbook treatment. They have nothing other than what has already been researched and found out. And these same great men tell you after 5 years, sorry, that medicine is a dangerous way. You walk into a physician's room in the US. In India, they are not frank to tell you. When I went to the doctor in the US, they said, we give you this medicine, but this is bad for your liver. So we'll give you another medicine for liver, but that affects your kidney. We give you a medicine for kidney, that affects your heart. Whereas here in Ayurveda, that question doesn't arise. We go directly to the root cause. And once the root cause is corrected, you find all the other manifestations of so-called illnesses disappear.
So I'm just looking at a question here by a friend, Minnie. She says, in yoga, we say asanas keep the physical body healthy. And in meditation, meditation helps keep the mind spiritually healthy. So where does Ayurveda fit in? And
Well, I always keep telling yoga teachers like you, and the first person whom I spoke at a long dialogue was with the great Mahesh Yogi. I said Ayurveda has to cleanse the body. Unless and today you find, with due respect to your yoga studio and your teachership, you find the wrong people come for yoga. And they cannot bend some parts of their body, and when they don't have a pure body, how are they going to make it comfortable for themselves? Whereas in Ayurveda, we have Shodhana Chikitsa and Shamana Chikitsa and all those things. Make yourself pure, make yourself clean, and then you take yoga. And the original purpose of yoking your body with your soul. That is the ultimate purpose of yoga. But many of them have today become so commercial, it is more of gymnastic centers. And say, I went and did yoga, and I am so trim and looking good, and then the next thing you walk into is the nearby hotel where you fill your stomach and go back to the same condition. And therefore, everyone, that's why Ayurveda is basically preventive. Second, it is promotive. And only finally, when you become sick, and that is only time when people come to Ayurveda. But today, the realization, especially from the Western countries, so conscious, health conscious they become, every foreigner comes and says, detoxify me. They are so convinced that the water they drink, the air they breathe, and every food that they take is full of toxic elements. And they say detoxify. And today our Indian friends, olden days, once in a year, during the floods and the rains when there's nothing that you can do, everybody went through an Ayurvedic course of treatment. And 1 month of investment, today's busy man says, I can't afford to stay for 21 days. I can't waste. We always say that 1 month you invest on your health is a long-term investment. Your return on investment is in the next 11 months. But today you have a so-called fast life. And today what happened to your fast life is a lockdown. Everybody's life is slowed down. But the world has not stopped functioning. Nobody has had any problem because their life slowed down. It has become a craze that I have to say I am a busy person. Busy doing what? They don't know what are they are. But busy worried. Worried about what? That also I don't know. I am either worried of the past or I am anxious about the future that you miss the beautiful present. Whereas in Ayurveda we say, live in the present. When the patients come to hospital, my father used to say, be here. They said, yeah, we are coming here to stay. No, be here. I don't want to feel your pulse and feel that your check has bounced in Mumbai. You come halfway, we come halfway, and we purify you. So those are the type of people who have lived for 95 years, 96 years in such healthy condition. But today, by 35, almost everybody comes under the bracket of sick people. and you have a purpose which you are not even started in life. So this is where you need to have longevity of life. And according to Ayurveda, the full term of life is 120 years. If not 120, at least 100. If Ayurveda and yoga can merge and work together, we can ensure that they live 100 years not as a patient, but as a healthy contributor to make a better world around us. I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah, so I'm just backtracking a little bit, back to our purpose question, because that's such an important question, yeah. And a lot of people, including me, at some point earlier in my life, like the question is, how do you find your purpose, right? So sounds good, yeah. We all must have a purpose in life. We all must live a purpose. But how does each person find their unique purpose?
Well, the Lord as a personal, today you Google and there's nothing that you cannot get an answer. Create a similar relationship with the Lord. And this is where during meditation, when you try to, an average man, science has told, thinks 22,500 thoughts per day. Imagine the traffic in your brain and the mind. You are not able to even think properly. Reduce the number, and the number can be reduced through meditation. Deeper meditation as you go, you start finding your mind becomes calm. And those are the moments when the Maker, who has sent you for a purpose, starts prompting to you as to this is what you need to do today. They don't tell you the long-term purpose. I was never told that you have come to the earth for reviving Ayurveda or promoting Ayurveda, propagating Ayurveda. Every day, but then you need to have a lot of courage to listen to it. And all of us know about the Bhagavad Gita of the Kurukshetra war, the war between Arjuna's, Krishna's advice to Arjuna. This is nothing but the war and clash between your head and your heart. Majority head, you say, we want to go for a satsang, like today is your conversation. Half of them who started, friends would have said, let's go for a film. And when you ask them, they say, yeah, better we come for that. And when the ones who listen to the heart and say, I better go and spend some time in the satsang, others say you're mad to go and waste on this. After you come back from the film, they say it was a horrible film. The one who goes back from the satsang says, what a wonderful time I spent. So this way, when you start quietening your mind, you start getting the prompting. And of course, the Lord takes you through turbulences. You need to have the courage to hold on to it. And once you fly about 35,000 beyond the turbulence, you find life becomes beautiful. And this is where recently a Brazilian young girl came, was asking, how do I know what is my dharma? What a word for her to ask. I said, the only solution, common prescription for everybody, whether you're an Italian or a Brazilian or an Indian, wake up early morning, sit in meditation for a few moments, and once you get drunk with it and you start enjoying those moments, you slowly start withdrawing from society, and thanks, you start losing all the wrong friends that you have, and the world will say, oh, she's become a very big person running a big studio and doesn't care to talk to us because you are experiencing inner beauty. And then, like the snakes, you remove all those old friends, a new group of friends come in, but they are a minority. And with such a group, you jointly try to discuss more about, and that is why we say it's a satsang, not to sang. And then you start finding there is a mission, there is a goal, and every day in life, people say how many things you do. Once you are found to be efficient, like you have a teacher in your school, and you find them to be efficient, you give them more and more and more responsibilities. And we are very clearly told, and through spirituality, that is why the spirituality has become through a healthy body in Ayurveda. Once you get into all these modes, you start getting the inner guidance. And that is why people like Premaji keep saying, self-emptying for God. So empty all the rubbish that the Zen masters, Ramana Maharshi, for example, the great master of Tiruvannamalai. Somebody came and said, I've come to learn from you from Germany. He said, if you come to learn, go to universities. Here we teach you only to unlearn all the rubbish that you have pushed yourself into. And today in the US, you have deschooling societies. And today in India, you have homeschooling because they're convinced that the schools, and in India, the misfortune is we have adopted the wrong education system. Teaches you everything on earth. The child comes out with the remote controller of the television, knows how to operate the cell phone, but you just ask them, who are you? And why are you here? And what is your purpose in life? And they say, what are these three questions? And India is the only country which had a tradition of asking these questions. And this is a lifetime question that you need to ask, what should I do today? And in this way, when you are guided, you can start becoming more a sakshi, what we call, you become just a seer. And the doer is the Lord Himself. If anything I've achieved in Ayurveda, and I look back and the world says, you have got lifetime achievement award, and this award, and that award, I ask myself, did I really do anything? Was I not handled by some mighty power, which can call it any name? But that force is not monopoly of anybody. All of us, now we keep saying, we are so and so, so and so. We say our laptop, our cell phone, our watch, our hand, our body. Then who is this our? That is the journey of self-realization. And once you realize that it is that great soul, which is a part of the ultimate, whatever you call Brahman, or you call Paramatma, and that is equal. And that's why we say we pray to the plants, we love to the stones, the mountains, everything. Because all of us, animate, inanimate, has that element of that soul in that. And if we can learn, and that's why you see Zen masters going and talking to trees. There's a story in China where the great carpenter, the king calls the carpenter and says, you don't make good furniture for me. He delayed, the king calls and asks, he says, sir, I go and talk to a tree. But the moment I say you are going into the palace, they say, we are not prepared. So this is how the relationship has to be maintained. But today, in a family, even the husband doesn't have time for the wife. You live in 2 bedrooms, or rather 2 houses, and that is why you don't have a harmonious life. So you should live in harmony, and to live in harmony, there are various essential qualities. And the workbook that is available is what is called the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Smritis, the Shrutis. What amount of books are available? Today, all the Swami Chemyanji has translated almost all the books. But we don't have time for that. Why? I am very busy. But a day will come where you suffer. So I keep telling children, would you like to have a short-term suffering and long-term happiness, or short-term happiness and long-term suffering? What is the suffering? Waking up early in the morning. Most difficult thing for most of the people. Having a little time with your prayers. All these you are think you are suffering. But suffer with this, and you find you have a long innings of. So earlier the better you start. Why don't all of you start making your children wake up? I keep telling everywhere, even in the university, my women's university, that on the terrorist day, some particular day when Rajiv Gandhi was murdered, we follow some terrorist day. I said the first terrorist is the mother. Every child automatically has the inner alarm waking you up at 4:30. You turn the child on the stomach and then give 2 beating at the back and say, you better go to bed because the mom has to sleep long. Next is the dad who takes the son to the shop, buys him a gun. And what does he come back and show the grandfather? I will shoot you, old man. And everybody says, such a wonderful child. Beat up such a child. You are responsible for creating the mess in the world today. It's not late for anybody. However late it is, start correcting your life, become more healthy. When I say healthy, even WHO says body, mind, and the soul. And then people say, what about the soul? And this is where astrology comes up. There are patients who come to us where the Western medicine has said incurable disease. From the Mecca of medicine like Harvard and other places come up. We check the horoscope and we find lack of your blessings of your family date. For the sake of money, you have sold your famous house with a temple inside, and that force catches you at the vulnerable hour. And that's how you suddenly find people losing their jobs, people have lost their properties, people's life is in a mess. And by the time it's too late to get connected, because the Lord gets too many cell phone calls and He doesn't know your number, you're not registered your number with them, and therefore you miss the call. Establish the relationship right from beginning. Like the moment I find your call coming, I jump and pick it up because I know it's your number. But unknown calls we don't pick up. Same way, establish a beautiful relationship with your maker and life becomes amazingly beautiful.
So just following up on this very interesting conversation, I just want to tell the viewers that you actually have started the satsang for your students in Ayurveda, where they come on Zoom, I think at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you lead them through a satsang close to an hour. So I was saying these are such when I was growing up, at least in colleges and universities, we were not really exposed to all this knowledge. So that's really a beautiful that you're doing. And it also gets everybody to wake up at 5 a.m., I guess. So these questions that you ask, you urge people to ask themselves, right? Who am I? Where am I going? And through your satsang and talks as well, you want to awaken people, right? So just a little bit more light on, how do you think people should awaken themselves to what?
Well, Ayurveda is a part of the Vedas. And centuries before, 10,000-year-old is Ayurvedic science. How did those days the great masters who found Ayurveda realize the difference between mother's milk and goat's milk and cow's milk? They never had laboratories. How did they find that every herb has its own medicinal values? Where did they find this? And this is where, when you can elevate your level of consciousness and you go beyond your mind, body, mind, and intellect, what Swami Chinmayanji says, EMI, and then you become universal. Like today, you enter the Google, you can, at the universal level, heights of your consciousness, get to know anything, everything can be called. When I used to listen to Swami Chinmayanji's lecture at a very young age, you used to find him answering any question, every question, talk on all topics. I said, one man cannot master everything from mechanical engineering to spirituality. But now I experience, when questions come, how the Lord feeds you with the right message, and people say, what a wonderful, and then I say, did I really answer this? Did I know anything about it? And then people say, tell us something more about what you spoke. So, Ayurvedic students of today cannot treat the science as another commercial profession. Medicine and teaching was never a profession in India. It was pure seva, service. Incidentally, you get some dakshina, what you call as some courtesy money given by them, accept it. And that is the level with which you should be having a humble living. Simplicity is one of those great qualities required to elevate yourself spiritually. And for that, this greatness has to be there. Every child, and today you find almost every graduates, 25,000 graduates come from 270 Ayurvedic colleges in India. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunate, 75% are girls. One rare boy will be sitting in the class in the middle of all of them. And 50% of them get married the day they come out. And they don't practice. The rest of the 50 keep saying, sir, we frankly don't know what we study. You ask them to consult a patient, it's impossible. And even this morning we had a meeting of how to redesign. And that is where the uniqueness of our Coimbatore Experiment College comes up, where we were the first ones where we started a Gurukula College. The Gurukula College was the ancient concept of Indian education. where the teacher and the taught live together. When I asked my father, how did you become a great Vaidya? He said, 20 hours per day, 20 years I sat at the feet of my master and then mastered little Ayurveda. You could imagine what an ocean it is today. And for every disease of today, even COVID, we guarantee Ayurveda can treat it. But Western medicine stops you and says no, as though they have a medicine. And if this can be opened up and proved, the whole world is going to come up. And therefore, the challenge today is then the demand for Ayurveda is unbelievably wonderful. But where is the supply? Physicians who have elevated themselves. And early days, the physician was not a mere physician. There were great masters who were a combination encyclopedia, and India is the only country where centuries before 64 great arts and sciences had evolved, all for enlightenment of man and not for entertainment. You take Bharatanatyam, you take up astrology, astronomy, mantra, tantra, yantra, like this Dhanurveda, even what do you call archery, dressmaking, today's boutiques, all those are great sciences. Where did we go and lose it? We had years of Mughal rule, after that we had the British rule, and unfortunately, people who did not know much about this took over the country's rule, and they did not correct it. But Nostradamus has mentioned somewhere in the 16th century that somebody would come during this era to bring back, and that is Modi has come now. So the education policy of India is now being redesigned, and more of ancient Indian thoughts are being incorporated. So once this comes up, this country is again going to lead the world as it was. I'm not saying economically, maybe economically also today, thanks to the breakdown of China, the world has started looking up to India as the leaders of this world. And for that, it is not individual one prime minister who's enough. Every one of us have got to contribute to make this a nation, a healthy nation. And for having a healthy nation, we need to have healthy citizens. And when I say healthy, not physically by going to the gym, but people who had a body wash and a soul wash, who have got a clarity of thought and purity of heart. Today, both are not there. Everybody is full of anger, hatred, jealousy, competitive attitude. And all these are diseases according to Ayurveda. Because today you teach the child going to school, make sure you get more marks than the other child. The other child would have been born to become an artist. You would have been born to become a business person. Where is the question of competition with you? Don't share your food with other children. We teach them all the wrong things. And that is why today we've got a vulgar world around us. Whereas ancient days, the whole attitude was different, and we should try to go back to it. People may say, is it possible? It is certainly possible. Through our Gurukula college, we created amazing Vaidyas who are responsible for reviving Ayurveda today, and young students. This morning I had one of my students in the meeting who's become a great expert on Tantra Shastra, a highly misunderstood science. And Tantra Shastra is nothing but how your rational mind can be made into intuitive mind. Today, all of us start business with a rational thinking based on your education, and today you find how many businesses have collapsed. That is because you used your so-called knowledge or intellect. But there are people who started intuitively, like I myself started intuitively saying, I should take up Ayurveda. And today, are we not much more successful than the so-called rationalists? And that is an art. The chakras are there, your yoga shastra is there. And when 64 such wonderful, thought-provoking sciences have been created by God, is it not for us to use it? But we are all the time in the malls and the film theaters, not knowing, and all the time you can hear everybody saying, life has become such a bore. Life cannot be bored. For me, I don't find 24 hours is sufficient. You because there are so many things I find to keep myself busy. Everybody says lockdown period, is it not boring? I said most interesting time in my life. Had it not been for the lockdown today, you wouldn't have called me for a conversation. So this was another wonderful 1 hour. So in any situation, making life beautiful is given by the inner message that you keep getting and not the outer message.
Thank you. That's really beautiful. So, we're just going back a little bit into Ayurveda, and Ayurveda's mode of treatment based on individual constitution, yeah, in terms of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So, could you just shed some light on that, because we keep hearing these terms, but people are not exactly clear on what they stand for. What they are.
Your question is not clear. There's a lot of
About Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
yes. Ayurveda is a very, very complicated science, but once you master it, it's very simple. If all of us have three humors in our body, what we call Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. It's all wrongly translated. For Sanskrit words, you don't have the right English translation, but we call air and bile and phlegm and all this. And this is what we call Prakriti. I am tall and heavy. My Prakriti is different from yours. So there is a combination of our body. The balance, the right balance within us is health, and that imbalance is unhealthy condition. And correcting this is the treatment that we do. So manipulating with your food, we say annam aushadam, the type of food that you should eat, the type of food that you should not eat, and how you can balance it and remain healthy. And of course, having yoga also to be kept doing along with that. But today, almost everybody comes and says, I have a problem. The first thing I ask them is, what are your food habits? And right away they say, these are my habits. I said, first is stop all that you eat. They say, oh my God, those are my favorite foods, and that is why you are sick. And you should know what to do. And today, people have started having diet courses and books on diet. It is not enough to have all the protein and nutrition calculations. An expert should study your body constitution. And for studying body constitution, Indian medicine does not need external equipments like MRI and CTI scans. There are 108 marmas in your body. A lady came and felt behind my ear and said, for the last so many years you've been diabetic. And those are all the pulsation centers. Feel the pulse. We had Vasant Lad came and conducted program with a great Indian Maharashtrian settled in Mexico, who can look at your pulse and say 3 generations ago what was your grandfather's health problems. This is the greatness of that science. So once the physician can feel the pulse, can guide you. But everybody in the name of saying, I've got my business dinner, got to go and eat. You are not a dustbin. You can have a control, and this is where meditation helps and says, withdraw from your 5 senses. They are all something which titillates your senses. Try to have control. People, you can see them taking their dog for a walk. The dog is pulling you, and you are not taking the dog for the walk. The dog is taking you for the walk. But gradually reverse it. You should be able to make your senses a slave, whereas today you are a slave of your mind. If these controls can come, you can live healthily, and this is why Ayurveda is purely individualistic. For your twin sister of the same age, same color, same body condition, it is not the same medicine given, because her constitution is completely changed from yours because of her food habits and living habits. So it has to be purely individualistic. Whereas in Western medicine, it is called illicit generalization. Everybody is given the same tablet, the same capsule, not knowing what the body constitution is. And they have no concept of body constitution. It is only the equipments which gives you and says, oh, your sugar. Sometimes if the test report belongs to somebody else, you had it. And this is what happens very often these days in hospitals. The doctors are so busy, they have no time to discuss with you. Whereas in Ayurveda, you need to know the desham, balam, kalam, what are your strengths, which country are you coming from, what are the climatic conditions. What are your eating habits? What are your parampara? What is your lineage? What is your heritage? After that alone, we come to a conclusion as to whether it is psychological or whether it is physiological and what sort of treatment is required. And at the treatment level, we have the Adi Bhautika Chikitsa, which is the gross physical body. Then you have the Adhyatmika treatment, the spiritual classes, the psychological treatment. Then we have the Adi Devika Chikitsa, what we call the Deva Vipassana Chikitsa, doing the havans and pujas and homams and everything. In the name of modernity, many are sarcastic about all this. But when they land up in soup and they come and ask us, we tell them you need to do these homams and pujas. They are ready to listen to all this. Would you not have done this as preventive cures? Every year on your birthday, could you not have done some of these advanced remedies which will ensure that your planetary changes do not affect you? Every planet is connected with some part of your body. And that's why a good astrologer can say in 2022, please be careful, you're likely to break your bones by falling. And you say, there's no reason I can be very careful. They say, your liver is likely to be affected. You're likely to go through certain incurable diseases. How wonderful these predictions. And this is exactly what Ayurveda can do. Well in advance, Ayurveda can predict what potential patient you're going to be based on your lifestyle, based on your food habits. So we always say in olden days, you had a family physician, like what your father was for our family. And he goes to the house, the grandfather, the grandson, the grandchild, everybody is guided. But today, even Western medicine has become a system of purely medications, purely treating the symptoms. And one symptom is cured, a few other diseases manifest. Whereas through Ayurvedic medicine, you not only heal the symptom, you heal the man, the human being, into.
Thank you so much. We're going to be running out of time, so I have to ask you this really important question, which a lot of people have been asking me to check with you. Basically, to share some tips, some practical tips, kitchen tips with regards to food to boost our immunity and our health. Because with COVID-19 now, the focus is, we all know we have to deal with it, and the focus is on boosting our own immunity. So, I mean, keep hearing all these things on YouTube, right? Turmeric and ginger. And so, just share some tips that every day we can do practically in our process.
An ancient Indian grandmother's kitchen was the best milk center. Today, you have the so-called gold milk by great coffee shops coming up. Turmeric in milk is something which you could have had, and turmeric is supposed to do the streptomycin effect. All the infections will go. Coconut milk, coconut oil. They created a scare in the market that coconut oil or coconut intake can create cardiology problems. Kerala got the most healthier situation. Everybody bathes in coconut oil, drinks coconut oil, cooks in coconut oil. And today, you can see fancy young girls in Mumbai and other cities on waking up having 2 spoons of coconut oil. Who told them? We don't know. Then it has again come back. And today for COVID, all the old Ayurvedic remedies have become a fashion. This morning, somebody from Mumbai, who's a big stockbroker, calls and says, can you send me 25 kits of all these essential things I should eat? So ginger being taken with a little honey helps you to become more and more strong. And why COVID today? Lack of immunity. You have no resistance against any onslaught on you. Corona is not a new finding. Way back in 1950, an Indian lady has gone to Arizona University and invented and found out corona. And early days, when you got temperature, even your father never used to allow medicines to be taken until you watch for 3 days and then say, is it a morning fever or afternoon fever or evening fever or night fever? Based on that, those are the signs of what is the disease you're going to inherit. But today, even before your body starts feeling temperature like, you are immediately on a particular medicine. And you suppressed all these viruses and microbes in your body. It has come to a stage where all of them have started revolting and saying, no more of this nonsense. And the corona has come out, and today everybody running around with no system having anything to cure this. So these are all the traditional things. You take ginger, you take turmeric, you take even ordinary neem leaf. If a neem leaf can be pulled out and remove the leaves and the small twig, boil it in water, it looks like a wonderful wine or a good drink. Have it. A villager who's never gone to school prescribes. This I happen to show the WhatsApp message to the director of the National Institute of Nutrition of India, and he had a shock by saying, "Oh my God, what a finding!" And today everybody talks, including my university. I keep making fun of them, as though India never had nutritional values. Is it only today that you talk of protein and taking carbohydrate and this much of that? And anybody going to US or Singapore or Malaysia comes back, buys all the vitamins available. All these vitamins are there in our foods. Try to follow the old pattern of eating habits and remain healthy. Give up the wrong food. Don't overeat. Eat on time. No frequent eating too many times. And sleep well. Wake up early. Do meditation. And remain young and complete the 100 years living a blissful life.
So I have a question here from my friend Seema. What is the best Ayurvedic diet, and what is your opinion about the keto diet? I'm not sure if it's familiar with the
Ayurvedic diet.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, it depends on your individual body constitution. What does good diet for you cannot be a good diet for somebody. Ayurveda has never been against non-vegetarian. Sorry?
So it's not like a standard.
So it has not a standard one. And today you have the G dieting and the B dieting and all sorts of new commercial ventures which have come. People lose weight, and the moment they stop it, they multiply. Why do you do that to the body? There are fasting courses which some of the institutions conduct, and you must have heard about a great famous Indian politician called Pilu Modi. He went for a course of treatment, reduced by 30 kilos. And the day he landed back in the city, he collapsed and died. Nobel Prize got his Nobel Prize for this Ekadashi Vridam. We all have olden days, our grandmothers used to do the fasting on one particular day. And that is for allowing the body to cleanse itself. These natural cleansing processes. Later on, it became that once in a month you were given castor oil. And today you find almost everybody is highly constipated. And for that, they take a lot of drugs. That constipation is enough for ulcers to start, ulcers to become cancer, and that is one of the most popular diseases today because of your habits and food and diet habits. Very, very important the diet. Try to consult maybe a modern dietitian or a traditional Vaidya physician. Feel free to them. And that's why now in our own institution we are going to start preventive health clinics. And not only that, every part of this country has its own rice varieties. And there are rices. This morning somebody has written an article on the type of rice that is to be taken for arthritis. The type of rice that is during to be taken by an expectant mother. And the other thing, a good healthy person has to start the process during pregnancy. The expectant mother, there are ways by which she has to live and she should not live. And today you find them in the 9th month of pregnancy in the cinema theater or in an auto rickshaw, and they deliver in the bus and the autos. Why does this happen? It has to be, you are bringing a soul back into this earth. Such a valuable asset it is. It has to be guided, and it says do's and don'ts. And ancient days, everybody delivered at home with an ayah coming there and doing the delivery. And today you find everybody goes in for a cesarean, whether required or not. And after second child, you're already some parts of your body are missing, and you become sick. And every time you tear your body, you are creating more and mess of your body, which was so perfectly made and sent from the Lord's factory. You mutilate your body, and then you say you're sick, and then you ask the question, oh my God, I don't know why I'm sick. This lifetime I have not done any bad karmas. It's the past karmas of yours which you earn and prarabdhas which you bring to serve. But we have all the free will available at our liberty to live a good life. So diet, but and simple thing is the most simplest diet. Try to make sure simple vegetables are there. Somebody who wants, and in non-vegetarian, we always ask you eat a sea fish or a river fish or a pond fish. You eat chicken, we say what type of chicken? All goat, what type of them are they? All these meat products have its own qualities, and it has to merge with your diet system. And your biology should be able to take it up. The sleeping and waking up is again a biological clock for which somebody else got another Nobel Prize. These are all ancient Indian thoughts. And today, old wine in a new bottle is coming back to India as though the West found out all this.
Sure.
Thank you for all the wonderful questions. I hope and pray I made some sense of spending this one valuable hour of yours. And thanks to Shailaja Menon for finding time and spending time with me in a conversation. Any more things you'd like to say? I said out of thanks before you close, so that I thought I should convey my.
No, it's just that there was one question from my friend Lopa here about
Please.
one good thing to be consumed for autoimmune disease. Is there anything you can suggest?
Yes, it is again lack of resistance. The body is unable to take it. Way back in 76, in my journal, I wrote an editorial about autoimmune diseases. How you can create the resistance. And this resistance has to start from pregnancy. Today, you have pregnant mothers who are taking insulin. And that insulin goes and creates problem in the child. You are taking steroids without knowing the danger of that. And that creates all these imbalances in the poor child who is being born. But it can be corrected. And there are ways and means by which incurable diseases can be cured through herbs. But it needs a personal consultation. Long distance consultation through phones and trying to come on the Zoom doesn't help. As I said, the pulse has to be felt, the different body parts have to be felt, the digestive system has to be known, and give them 1 week medicine and see how they respond, and then they can be helped come out of that situation.
So I'm going to close now officially. So thank you so much for giving us your precious time. Extremely busy, like I said, he works
Thank you
20
so much.
hours a day. So even this, I think he must have cancelled so many meetings to share this time with us. So thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure, and it was really great hearing you talk and all your advice to transform ourselves and lift ourselves to live with purpose. It was very meaningful, and really thank you for your time.
Good luck and God bless all of you.